Experience the cage. The cage. The cage. The cage.
The young Norwegian super prospect John Vetle Furuheim is a world champion in K1 and Muay Thai, and on top of that, possesses serious wrestling and grappling skills. Now, he'll lock horns with the Kurdistan-born Finn, Hama Dara, who steps up a weight class as a last-minute replacement. This one promises to be all action, as Dara always goes all out, and Furuheim couldn't be happier about that. Here we go! John Vetle Furuheim versus Hama Dara.
To the blue corner, Hama Dara.
Here we go, Hama Dara coming to the cage once again, looking to have another exciting performance here in cage. I am Steve Stewart. I'm joined by Sebastian Vindel Martinez, and we are back with an exciting night of fights ahead of us. Hama Dara will now take on John Vetle Furuheim, and Hama Dara is quite an intriguing fighter. He trains under the legendary Tipi Hirvikangas, and he is an excellent striker. Always comes to put on a performance that is entertaining and exciting. Not always just in pursuit of victory, but in pursuit of the ultimate victory that is entertaining the crowd. It's quite incredible, and he does that with very unorthodox striking. You know, he has some interesting kicks, his sniper-like accuracy, and he's looking to do that tonight and get an upset victory over John Vetle Furuheim.
Oh yeah, absolutely, and I think based on the walk-in music, I think we can expect this fight to be a real thriller. Maybe Hama Dara will come in like a smooth criminal and get the striking done on the feet. But he's very close with Finnish stand-up Hama and Husmander, very close to train together on a regular basis. And how about Hama Dara's activity? He's competed 4 times since October of last year. Not one to let inactivity become a factor here tonight. He also has competed in the Finnish National Championships in 2020, and he actually won the Iraqi Kurdistan MMA Championships in August of last year.
Yeah, he likes to maintain a very, very quick clip and a high strength of schedule, and it looks like maybe that will be to his benefit, you know, in the long run, but in the short term, it kind of leads to situations where he steps in on short notice to fight guys like John Vetle Furuheim, who are very, very dangerous, you know, and that's something long-term he might want to take a look at, you know, getting in a consistent camp and things like that to ensure that he can show himself to the best of his abilities. I mean, every fight is exciting, of course, he comes in good shape, but if you can purpose-build a camp for one guy, I think maybe you have a better chance at success.
Yeah, I mean, credit to Hama Dara for stepping up on short notice. I can guarantee you the list of guys wanting to fight his opponent on short notice is very short.
Yeah.
To the red corner, John Vetle Furuheim.
here happy to get the third pro fight of Vetle Furuheim's career, aka Wonderboy, one of the hottest prospects coming out of Norway at the moment, just 20 years old, but he is a K1 champion, a Muay Thai world champion, and despite that, he has a slew of submission victories, a very well-rounded athlete. Be sure of that. And this is actually the third opponent change for Furuheim. First he was supposed to fight Matt Berholt, and then it was supposed to be the grappler Georgi Gogochuri, and now he goes from a Georgian grappler to a Finnish Kurdish striker. So talk about a change in opponent. I mean, I can't even imagine what his training camp must have been like at this point. But I do know, however, that last year he spent a lot of time at All Stars Training Center in Stockholm, training alongside the likes of Bison Gurmakaev, Felipe Lima, and many, many others.
And that's a very good idea, in my opinion. 20 years old, very, very young. Sure, he's got tons of experience, right? In Muay Thai, in K1, whatever the case may be. As an amateur, right? 8 finishes and 11 amateur fights.
Yep.
But spending time to round out those skills. There's really, I mean, you can learn a lot in a short period of time, but you can learn a lot more in a longer period of time.
Yeah.
So, like, it's, you know, just taking time to really train with those high-level folks to add additional skills to his experience. Phenomenal choice, in my opinion. When we look at the tail of the tape, what stands out to me here, at least, is this height and this reach.
Oh, absolutely. I do expect that height and reach advantage to come into play. And, you know, Hama Dara, a little bit older as well. He's growing into his body a little bit more, and he has more pro experience. However, one cannot discount the experience of Vetle Furuheim.
In the blue corner, fighting with a professional record of 1 win and 3 losses, weighing 66.3 kilos, from Turku, Finland, Hama Dara! In the red corner, undefeated Norwegian fighter with a professional record of 2 wins and no losses, weighing 66.1 kilos, fighting out of Norway, Vetle Furuheim!
All right, this has all the makings of an unforgettable striking classic, because as we know, Hama Dara, he loves to throw down, and now he faces a K1 champion, a Muay Thai world champion, undefeated Norwegian prospect, Vetle Furuheim, aka Norwegian Wonderboy.
You know, as a fighter, I love Hama Dara, right? He's got this wide, rangy stance, and he loves to do flashy kicks and fun stuff like that, like a sniper. But here's the thing, he stands wide. And when you have a Muay Thai champion, he's gonna kick your legs, so you better come prepared.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
And that's something I worry about with the wide stance. Oh, Hama Dara with the spinning back fist.
Yeah.
Then goes up the middle with the kick. Oh, but those leg kicks, yeah, they're coming. Oh, are they coming? Oh,
huge high kick.
Oh, and he's all over him. Jan Furuheim is all over Hama Dara. Hama Dara closing, getting a little bit of, you know, removing that space so that he can control the body and the physique of Furuheim, buy himself some time to recover, and hopefully get back to his feet where he can do his sniper-like kicks. This is a very dangerous place to be in, right? Because when you look at the record of Furuheim, you think, hey, he's a striker? Did anybody tell his record that?
Yeah, right.
Because, you know, he's got finishes galore by way of submission. This is a dangerous spot to be in if you're Hama Dara.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Furuheim, he's coming off of a first-round submission victory over Renaud Gourier in December of last year, so he can clearly get the job done on the feet as well as on the ground as well as on the feet.
Yeah, both of his pro victories come via submission in the first round. This is not the spot you want to be in, I'll reiterate, if you are Hama Dara.
And it looks like he's trying to work a Darce choke here.
Yeah, this is problematic. Now, Dara is no slouch on the feet. He's got underrated grappling, but both of these gentlemen are dry, and this looks pretty tight. Can't quite see the hand positioning. It's a mess of limbs there. it looks like, does Dara have a hand in there? Yeah, he does. He's trying to defend here, but you can't hang out here for long. You need to make a move.
That being said, though, Furuheim's got to be careful about burning his arms up, because if he doesn't have this submission, it could be a bad investment if his fight goes to a second and third round.
Yeah, absolutely. And Dara is no slouch. He's not here to get finished in the first. He's here to put on a show. And he's showing that now as he changes the position, gets to his feet, and says, hey, let's go. Throws that kick. Another high kick to that head. This is phenomenal.
And egging his opponent on is the hometown hero, Dara.
Almost as if to say, hey, how do those arms feel?
Yeah.
Oh, but the kicks of Furuheim.
But he checked it, though, did Dara, and very nicely so.
Oh, hard kick to the body from Dara as well. That looked to maybe get the attention of Furuheim. Oh, Furuheim throwing back heat.
I mean, I'll tell you, Dara fights like someone with a swag of a young Jamie Foxx or something. I mean, he's just styling in there.
Yeah, absolutely. A little Sugar Sean, vibes with those kicks and those spins and etc.
But how about that body lock takedown there from Furuheim?
I'm gonna start calling him Hama Honey Dara because he's got his own form of swagger. It ain't quite what you see.
He's got that sweet striking.
Yeah, it's impressive. Now again, he's in a bad spot here, but
not under the chin.
Yeah, but you don't want to be there, very close to a potential body lock, etc. Let's see though how this ends up playing out, because last time he was able to get to his feet with relative ease, I would say, actually, once he was out of that submission attempt.
Yeah. And now it is worth saying that as experienced as Furuheim is, that most of that is in stand-up disciplines. So one wonders, going into the later rounds, when that lactic acid starts building up, and you don't necessarily have those several years of grappling experience as he does with striking, will that be a factor? That is one of the interesting sort of points to take into consideration.
He seems to keep his conditioning, as a top priority. And from these exchanges, he knows his way around the mat. No question about it. So has he developed the discipline-specific cardio? That I don't quite know, but he doesn't seem scared of gassing out, at least thus far rather. But again, that could be being 20 years old.
Yeah.
And having, 11 amateur fights in that time in MMA, plus 2 pro fights, plus a wealth of experience in Muay Thai and kickboxing. He's not lacking in confidence.
Oh, definitely not.
Short time here, and he is threatening with a submission. Dara's motioning he's okay to the referee. He doesn't want this stopped. He's like, hey, I'm here to play. So maybe not how he saw that going, but he had moments on the feet, and Furuheim expended a lot of energy on submission attempts that didn't quite pay out. That being said, this kid is damn dangerous. All action, always looking for that finish, and that's something to be admired for sure.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, you can tell why he's such a hot prospect. There is the kick that planted his opponent on the canvas. Didn't really manage to land a whole lot of haymakers there on the ground. But nonetheless, I think you would, if you didn't give this first round to Furuheim, I'd be very, very apprehensive about sort of the decision making there, because still as styling as Dara was on the feet, it really was Furuheim pressing the action. He did get a knockdown. He did have 2 submission attempts.
What's really interesting about this going into the second round is if striking is truly his greatest strength, he takes this fight to the ground by choice. Yeah. Is that to get more experience there? Is that to just, get high-level competition experience there? I wonder what the idea is with that. When he really does, of course, he has to be mindful of the dangers that Dara possesses, because those flashy kicks will also put your lights out. But it is an interesting choice. And that elbow went right back over the ribs after he took that kick to the liver.
Yep.
He's mindful of that. Oh, and he takes a spinning back kick, but doesn't seem to faze him. He takes Hama Dara down and starts to apply a little bit of that grappling pressure once again.
Yeah, this is right back where the second round ended, with Furuheim trying to set up a rear naked choke.
Yeah, and Furuheim is one of those versatile new breed styles of fighter, right? He's capable of taking you out anywhere. It is surprising to me a little bit that that both of his professional victories have come via submission. This is, though, the first time he's been out of the first round as a professional. So that's something to be said for Hama Dara. But this appears to be going the exact same way as the first round thus far.
Yeah, I saw the Norwegian corner complain about something. I'm not sure about what, though. Still, though, Furuheim in a great position here, landing shots from Mount. But Dara might slip out the back door.
Dara needs to do something here. He needs to get up. He can't keep hanging out there. Dara had a shot there to get to his feet, and he was not able to capitalize on that opening. Which is unfortunate, because that means he's going to be right back where he has been for the entire, 7 minutes that this fight has been going.
Yeah.
Entire is, I suppose, a bit disingenuous, but, for a solid chunk of that time at least.
Yeah, at least for noticeable amounts of time in both first and second round. So, that being said, though, I feel like his defense is holding up quite well. And
yeah, absolutely. I mean, he is underrated as a grappler, for sure. But definitely shines on the feet. Tries to pendulum his way out, unable to escape.
Furuheim really has been around at some of the best gyms in Europe. He also spent quite a bit of time at the Great Britain top team along the likes of Brad Pickett and Ashley Grimshaw.
How many hours does this guy have in a day? Because, I mean, like, the amount he's competed, that was a very odd... back elbows coming for Hama Dara, who's now on his feet. Mindful of the potential for a knee to the head, though I'm not sure it will be there from that position.
He might be trying to set up a Granby roll, maybe trying...
Yeah, it could be. He does seem to be holding that arm on there, maybe. I think he's just trying to make it hard for him to elevate him and drop him again.
Oh, look, yeah.
Rolls for a knee. Nothing to it.
Doesn't get it, no. But I got to tell you, though, Dara is fighting borderline disdainful of his opponent, like giving no respect in there. Yeah,
Dara is absolutely savage on this. Is like, he's not trying to, he's coming in here to win. And if not, he's going to look good, in the moments where he shines. As good as he can. He's going to throw the kitchen sink at you. It ends up with a couple of ineffectual moments like this, unfortunately, but he's not afraid of trying to throw those flashy, exciting attacks.
He's trying his best at rolling out, but it just isn't enough. Furuheim also has a couple amateur titles. He was the Cage Warriors Academy Southeast amateur champion. So again, I mean, while striking is his forte, he's been very successful in grappling and MMA, no doubt about it.
Yeah, his striking credentials are numerous, right? And sure, he specializes in Muay Thai, but like I said, someone forgot to tell his record that, because it's just covered in submission victories. It's wild.
I mean, just the fact that in his pro debut, he won by a first-round Peruvian necktie, which is pretty unusual. A pretty unusual submission to get.
Yeah, absolutely. Hama Dara throwing heat back the second he could. Yep. Very interesting second round there in terms of, now Hama Dara is going to have some urgency, and Furuheim has expended a pretty decent amount of effort trying for a finish multiple times without getting it. So what does the third round look like? you know, for him? It's hard to say because he's not even been out of the first thus far professionally. So quite intriguing third round opening up ahead of us.
And that's where the difference between pro and amateur really comes into play, because 3 rounds in amateur, that's like 1 round. Oh, sorry, 2 rounds in pro MMA.
Yep.
So this is uncharted territory here for the Norwegian Wonder Boy.
Avustajat kästä, seconds out.
But then really, the demeanor of Hama Dara in there, I mean, those are what we back in the day at school used to say. Those are, what did you say about my mom strikes? the way that he throws it, there's just like, you know, anger in it.
There's, you know, there's also this sense of calm, even though he knows, hey, those 2 rounds maybe haven't gone my way. I've had my moments. And he comes out throwing heat with that body kick. This feels like a little bit of a challenge, you know, to Jon Furuheim. Oh, another solid kick to the midsection. But he's got to be careful that he doesn't put himself off balance and end up on the mat again. That's not where he wants to be. It's very clear. If you can have a modicum of success on the feet, stay on the feet. Because the ground didn't have much for him. Or at least not that good.
Wow, I mean, how about the overall MMA game of Furuheim? I mean, that was great. I also liked the way that he sort of punched his way into that grappling position. He was reading Hama Dara very well, who was preparing, you know, to try and get the underhooks for a wrestling defense. Furuheim read that like an open book, punched his way into it, and then went for the takedown.
Yeah, very impressive skills on display here for Furuheim. Like he is very clearly a prodigy. At 20 years of age to have such an accomplished record, has so many just accolades. It's quite astounding.
And when I spoke with Furuheim earlier, I asked him about, you know, if he has any favorite fighters, and he said, not really. And I told him, okay, well, if you had to choose just one fighter to watch for the rest of your life, who would it be? And he said, okay, 50-50, Khabib and Conor. Pretty good mix, if you ask me.
I mean, he could just have them fight each other.
Yeah. Maybe he'll just watch that over and over again.
Over and over again, yeah. That's interesting because, you know, he does have quite impressive striking, and he also seems to understand, in no uncertain terms, he seems to understand exactly what to do on the ground. So maybe he's emulated himself a little bit out of both of them in some respect.
The referee did give a warning for inactivity. Furuheim picked it up a little bit.
This is a dangerous spot to be in with a guy with such long legs. You know, you could very easily find yourself accidentally sunk into a triangle choke. Though, as we saw earlier, that doesn't always mean you're going out.
And just half the round left now.
And Hama Dara gets his hips elevated. Oh, and now he manages to get the top position.
Interesting turn of events here in Helsinki as Dara is now on top.
All it takes is a little bit of a slowdown, one momentary lapse of focus, and suddenly Hama Dara is trying to capitalize. Now, Furuheim seems to think, hey, I'm going to elbow you if you're on top of me, which is a good strategy.
Yeah.
So maybe not as effective thus far as Hama Dara would like. Let's see what Dara does here.
Posturing up, here comes a ground and pound. Perhaps a little bit of fatigue showing here. I'm surprised that Dara isn't throwing more offense from this position.
Well, I think it's the hand control, the wrist control that you're seeing here from Furuheim. He's not really yet able, he's got his hands on the biceps there. He's got one wrist kind of locked up on occasion. Yeah, a bit tough to get any meaningful offense going. But now, Dara looking for the back. Furuheim might be a bit tired. He is a bit more heavily muscled than Dara.
Furuheim holding on to Dara's right arm.
Yeah, trying to make sure he can't make any hay of this.
1 minute.
Pretty confident, I would imagine, in how those first 2 rounds went for him.
Yep.
Dara, though, needs to do something here.
Yeah, he can't expect to win a decision riding out this position here. He's got to get some offense going. But look at that submission attempt from
Kimura attempt. Oh, this is bad. Oh, okay. He straightened that arm, which provides, you know, some measure of reprieve, but that could have been nasty. And now he's in the top position, looking to rain down hell. Dara ain't going out like that, though. Looks to retain a more safe position. Modified. Okay, he went slight north-south and then into side control with now one arm pinned, it looks like. Final seconds of this, the third and final round. Wow. Vetle Furuheim and Hama Dara. Largely one-way traffic here tonight.
Mostly one-way traffic, but some blitzes of excellence from Hama Dara. I mean, I've got to give credit where credit is due. He had some great moments on the feet.
And on short notice? Come on.
That's, I mean, I really think that is worth mentioning.
Incredible performance in that regard. Is, you know, he managed to stay in there with someone who, you know, obviously has a very, very high level of skill, and he had his own moments that looked very exciting. It's nothing but up for both of these two gentlemen.
Yeah.
Let's take a look at this replay here. You have Furuheim pressuring against the cage and trips. Bit of a throw. He's able to get Dara down in most instances that he tries, and that's largely the tale of what happened here this evening.
And I mean, I'm sure we've said it ad nauseum, but he's 20 years old. He's 20 years old. He has an amateur cage warriors title. He's 20 years old with a K1 title and a Muay Thai World Championship. And he's 3-0 now, or most likely will be 3-0 in MMA as well. The sky's the limit for the Norwegian Wonder Boy.
This is incredibly impressive. You know, excellent performance here tonight, and a third victory, it would very likely appear. Now let's go to that official decision.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have the judges' decision for the fight. Winner by unanimous decision, Vetle Furuheim!
Yeah, no surprise there. 3-0 for the Norwegian Phenom, the Norwegian Wonder Boy, Vetle Furuheim.
Yeah, and I mean, a standout performance. He took what Hama Dara could give on the feet, and he doled it back when he could, otherwise took him down, and got another victory here tonight.
Jon, congratulations, that was a great fight. There was some explosive stand-up fighting, but it seemed like you could control the fight on the ground.
Thank you very much. I know this guy had good kicks, so we're going into the fight. I was looking for the kicks. I knew he was gonna kick me a lot. He kicked me a couple of times to the body, but it's nothing, you know. I can take hard kicks, I can also give hard kicks back. And yeah, I just want to say thank you to everyone here. Thank you Finland, thank you Helsinki. I really want to come back here and fight. I love cage.
Vetle Furuheim.
I also want to say thank you to all my followers in Norway and everyone supporting me. My coaches, Frontline Muay Thai. Thank you very much. I love you guys.
All right, of course you got to give the folks back home a bit of a shout out, right? I'd say he's earned it.
A little pride for the hometown, a little love for the city he's fighting in, and of course, always loyalty and love for those coaches. So that's good to see.
One of the brightest prospects of Northern Europe now, for sure. Sky's the limit.
You are about to experience the cage.